Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with this one. It was the gap below these channel structures a couple of weeks ago that in part set off a sell signal. I mean, we've been moving around on this just a little bit. There's a horizontal channel structure that I cannot find at this point in time, but it's in the 120s. If I were to actually walk you back just a little bit more, that it was about a Thursday of last week where the settlement above the 122.68 descending channel top indicated a testing of this former channel bottom that is on the daily chart at 135.10. Now, this did hold nicely on Monday. We backed away ever so slightly. 135.10 I've reduced to a minor point. This channel structure with an S, really, channel structures, they are sister formations. The inside one at 137.42 is every bit as valid as the 135.10. And if I were to use the weekly chart, which I do like to use as a primary means of overhead resistance, I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. I know this could be either it's very aggravating for any of you who got short on Monday at 135.10, and now I'm asking you to ride this thing into the low 140s. Or maybe those of you who got long a few days ago above 122.68 may hold out for a few points more in the 137.38 to 140.72 region. Now, the daily chart may well win the day. That may be it. The testing of that 135.10 may allow, actually, over the next 3 to 5 days, 122.68. And as I've said before, it is holding below this channel structure in the mid to upper 130s on the daily chart, the upper 130s to low 140s on the weekly chart. That will keep this market very susceptible to bearish rotation over the next 3 to 5 weeks back into the 105.58 region. If we can close the week Friday above 140.72, that is another story altogether. There's just a lot going on in the 140s. I could point to 143.73. And so it really is 135.10. If you want to call this a 4-star resistance, you can. I reduced it to 1 star in deference to the weekly channel bottom itself at 137.38 to 140.72. This is your short sale zone. This is your long liquidation zone if you went long late last week above the 122.68 formation. Now, on the way down today, we still have, of course, 129 even that can contain intraday selling. If we close today below 129 even, we also close below Monday's 129.96 low, and that should in itself set off follow-through selling probably tomorrow, Wednesday, back to 122.68, where we can bottom out on a daily basis, possibly round back up again. So 122.68 is a solid day trade level, but I also see it as a possible 3 to 5 day swing trade as well. We could fall to 122.68, stabilize, and then work our way back up into the upper 130s again within 3 to 5 days. If we happen to close below 122.68, we should within several days test 114.50, and that is at 5/8 Fibonacci that held about a week and a half ago, 5/8 Fibonacci of the August low against that more recent January all-time high. But it is very stair-step. I don't want to blur the idea that you're selling the mid to upper 130s, or should it be the upper 130s, low 140s? I'll let you decide. I'm not convinced that the market's shrugging this thing off, this proneness, if you will, for bearish continuation into the 105.58 area, unless we can close the week Friday above 140.72. Until then, this is the area to sell, and sell in anticipation of 105.58. So as we're pushing into the upper 130s, low 140s, you may consider reaching for 105, 110 strike out of the money puts that don't expire. I call this a 3 to 5 week move. It could take a couple of months. You might go 4 months out on the expiration value or expiration time horizon on that 105 or 110 strike out of the money put. Anything else to say? I will mention that the 105.58 level is a solid long-term support area that may well contain selling not only through the second quarter, but even into a later year. Anything else? I don't think so. I think that pretty much rounds it out. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Last week we put out 2 stock picks on Qualcomm and AST satellite systems. You might want to check that out. They're still very relevant. The last 4 or 5 stock picks we put out are still actually relevant. And you can also see weekly Apple stock, daily Triple Q, daily SPY, etc., etc. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesday's NVIDIA. You have a great day.